Hello, everybody. Why are
Alex,
your
I am
cameras
going to
loading?
beat you to death.
What?
With what?
There we go. Come on in, cameras. There we go. Hello, everybody. Welcome. You might notice that they're not all sitting in a row. They all have different backgrounds smushed in beside each other. We're doing some virtual.
Oh, what do you mean?
meeting.
This is Isaac. Isaac, you're ruining the illusion. We're all in the same room. We just like different blankets behind us.
Half of different blankets behind us.
Also, can you flip my camera so it shows my good side? What the fuck are you doing showing that side of me?
What do you mean?
Flip me.
Okay. Oh, not that.
You're showing my bad side.
Um,
Are you at your house?
um,
Are you at your house?
does
Yeah.
this switch it?
Oh, okay.
Oh no. Okay, that's bad too.
Can I change it on my video?
Hold
Maybe.
up. I'm sure there's a transform. Okay. Flip vertical. No, that's vertical. Shit. Unflip vertical. There.
I'm upside down, guys.
Flip
Hey.
Okay. Okay, but now I have the wrong side cropped, so I need to fix that.
Thank you. We're gonna do cameras. I get my good side.
Good job. Good job.
Wait. What? Oh, I see what the issue is. Okay, over here there, and then we'll stop you from cutting off all of Alex's space.
Hey. I'm gonna take
wait.
up every ounce.
What is happening?
Every single digit. Oh, should I have
You're
to?
welcome.
Okay.
You guys figure this out.
Go this boy.
Freaky ass nigga, he a 69 god. Freaky ass nigga, he a 69 god.
Oh, really?
Did it just say slurs on stream?
It's a song.
Oh, that reminds me. We had some videos pulled from YouTube because of music, like copyright in them. And I meant to go look at which ones they were talking about.
It might be copyrighted for that just because of that clip.
It's not long enough.
We hope. I rolled an 8!
Here, I'll distract them. Hang on.
Okay.
There we go.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah,
Okay, we've got that's passable. All right, we've got everybody's screens fixed. Alex, your lighting's still horrendous, but so is mine. So how much can
what
I
do you want
complain?
from me? I haven't been on a Zoom call in 2 years.
I look great.
Ruda's lighting's perfect. Yeah.
I'm prepared to have a camera on though because I have it on all the time.
Because of the OnlyFans.
Yeah, it's all the only. Honestly, I'm thinking about it.
You can't say that on the internet.
I am. Hey guys, I'm thinking about it.
The lighting.
Who knows? Maybe if you got it,
Hey, a
if you
number
wanted it
is
before I
the
wanted it, you get a special
4-digit,
premium.
5-digit, 6-digit.
Yeah, you guys want special premium for being here the first? We'll call it the Virgin card.
What? Virgins get special pricing. Someone's messaging you like, "But I'm a virgin." You're like, "No, we didn't mean literally."
No, Virgin to OnlyFans. I wasn't an OnlyFans creator before they wanted me to be one.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Don't knock over things.
Runa's in the basement. Alex, do you have AC? Yeah. Fuck you.
A sweater, Isaac.
It's so comfortable.
Why would I get a sweater?
I could use a blanket.
Me?
I could put a blanket on my legs right now.
Yeah, fuck you.
Oh, by the way, I got told that there's like a severe thunderstorm warning or something in our area, so if the stream randomly dies...
Yeah,
it's
there's one. There's one near us. We've gotten like 4 in the last hour.
I'm
for a warm.
staring at the fucking like rolling black clouds here. So yeah, there's a non-zero chance that we all go kaput. Hello, Dan. Welcome back. Oh, he doesn't have his
Kitana,
headphones on.
stop! So my cat has decided to flop on everything, and she might turn my computer off. So that also might be a thing.
What's the thing?
All right, welcome
My
back,
cat
Dragon.
likes to flop on my computer, and she will turn it off.
Yeah.
Sorry?
Oh, you also
Yeah,
might
go and
notice
just tell
the
me what I
party
owe
will
you.
be starting. We're planning on
Or,
running a little
I
bit
guess you're
this
not going.
evening to make up
Yeah.
for it if the storm is willing.
Did you get my text? Did you get my text? Okay. Again?
I like how Dan has better lighting than me and Alex as well.
No, man.
Hello, Daniel.
What?
Ready to take it away?
Oh, yeah.
Away.
I could get better lighting if I wanted.
I can.
We're going, man.
Yeah, take it away, Dan.
Oh, hang on.
Are we live already?
We are live. Yeah, we've been live
Oh.
since I
Hey guys,
started.
welcome
15
back
minutes
to this
ago.
Adventure Corp. We do this every Monday from 6 to 11 or 6 to 10. We're online, obviously, for the next little bit, so get used to that. Yeah, we stream on Twitch. That's the best place. If you want to watch our other past videos, you get them on YouTube and get in our Discord. If you can't watch and you drive, get us some podcasts. Welcome to the show.
All right. So, Runa is on a 3-stream watch streak. Like the shout out.
Please
So-
stop. I need my hand.
What?
My cat is going to be in the way. Prepare.
Sorry,
No, Katana's also guest starring this evening.
E6K 0T5.
Please unblock me.
Where did my headphones go?
Oh, this is gonna be fun.
You
Wait.
see my AirPods? Oh, they're right here.
AirPods.
Okay.
I was like, they're on your head.
Well, this is why digital D&D doesn't work, but we're going to try.
We're doing it.
It does work. Lots of people make it work. Most D&D is digital.
It's got its own challenges. In person has its own challenges. We're used to the challenges of in person, so now we've got to get used to the challenges of virtual for a little bit. Right. So we are coming back, and we are starting off. So where we left off was the party getting ready to challenge Logros, the enemy who, by prophecy, was fated to destroy the party, and whom you guys have spent most of the campaign evading and trying to get around that fate. You guys started by trying to sever his control over his extremely dangerous Thunderblade. You guys managed to succeed on this, teleporting Barry up next to it. He was able to execute his technique, and you promptly whisked it away to a demi-plane that Wogros was not familiar with. A battle ensued against Wogros, his army coming after him being kept busy by Zanranor, Sylphie's uncle. And then you guys fought against him, managing eventually to defeat him. His spirit fled from the battle, and using the party as a mouthpiece for some of it, a number of gods essentially tried to recruit Wogros or take him away from here. He chose to flee, to make his way to the astral plane to try and survive on his own terms. So we come back to the party having just succeeded in this endeavor, and we would be, if you guys have anything to do immediately after, we can handle that. Other than that, we would be a few days in the future from there. Or a day or so.
That was a good recap.
Thank you. Daniel, you've got your mic up, so you're muted.
I don't have anything immediately.
Okay. So if nobody has anything immediately, then the end of the battle would see the corpse of Wogros falling to the earth below. You guys made your way to the sword and managed to resurrect Sylphie's mother, Euriphae. And so we come back to after that. Euriphae has taken her rest. There was an argument with Zanranor. And you guys would be back at the villa essentially at this point.
I wanted to cast I wanted to cast scrying so that I could see what they're talking about because I was forced out of the room.
I see. You could absolutely cast scrying if you wanted to, yeah.
Yeah. Thanks.
So who are you scrying on?
My mom.
Okay. So you are scrying
I feel like if I scry on Xanramore, then he's gonna notice and be like, "No, I don't want to. You just listen to this." And then if I listen to Mom and she realizes, and she might be like, "Whatever, I don't care."
Scrying has a 10-minute casting time. By the time an image of your mother appears, the conversation will be long over.
Would I know that? I would know that. It takes 10 minutes.
Probably. You've cast scrying before.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it then.
Okay. So you are forced out.
I was just dragged out of the room, and now I don't get to hear what they said.
Yep.
Sounds like a lazy DM to me.
Yep.
That does sound like a lazy DM. He was like, hey guys, we need to have a conversation. Can every player that could benefit from this leave the room?
Can you
No, I want to stay. Oh, but if you stay, it's going to be so hard. And then Alex convinced me to leave. So I could have been there, Isaac.
Can you imagine two characters who aren't player characters wanting a bit of fucking privacy? God, I know
they're not even player characters. They're not even player characters. They're NPCs.
But it doesn't to them.
They aren't people.
Yeah, they aren't people.
It's true, they're not.
They're literally they're literally here for our amusement, and we don't get to hear their conversation.
The NPC skull shape actually limits their brain growth potential, which makes them less smart than player characters.
I'm gonna find a way to go back in time to watch that conversation. So you better be prepared to have
the
it.
chat saying, I think he's been jump scared by us being virtual now. So
I don't think there's anything really jump scary.
Time travel aside, you guys find yourself back in the villa. The city itself would be a flurry of activity over the next few days. So, one thing that happens is for the first time in a long time, a storm actually breaks over the city, actually like makes it over the city. There would be an absolute deluge of rain coming down, thunder, lightning. It is an extremely intense storm. Not enough to be a tornado or a hurricane or anything of the sort, but it is a very powerful storm that sweeps into the city and up into the land itself, breaking away from the ocean before it finally peters out. The other thing that would happen is a couple of the elders of the Thunderblade sect would return, and there would be open battle between them and the surviving members of the loyalists who had freed Wogros. You guys met a few of them. You guys fought two of them who fought along Wogros's side there that you guys managed to slay. But Gratz, the one that you guys had seen use the storm orb so long ago at the auction, along with the plasmoid and one other of them.
You wanted to get away, or did she die?
Who's this?
There was two of them that were with Wolgros. There was a dwarven woman that I killed.
Yes. They were both killed during.
Yeah, so they were both killed. Okay. Could we have assisted in dealing with? I'm super against those. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, if you wanted to, you guys probably
we could have just role played, but
yeah, you guys would have heard the clash, certainly. So, you guys would have heard the sounds of fighting coming from above the Thunderblade sect, and if you were quick enough to get there, you would either be able to witness or help with the battle against the remaining. What is their name? Where is the Thunderblade sect here? The Storm Apostates. Originally, they were kicked out of the Thunderblade sect, and they were the ones who freed Wogros in the first place. So Gratsk being the one who you guys saw first with all of the storm orbs, and then Ghoul and Arsh being the plasmoid and the orc would both be in combat with the remaining surviving elders that had fled the Thunderblade sect after Wogros took it back over. And a number of other of the more influential, more powerful students coming back. If you guys wanted to help with that, you absolutely could. Arsh is a pretty annoying foe to fight, using a flying sword and echoes of himself. Just always surrounded by a cacophony of noise and thunder that create just like after images of himself, and so he's pretty hard to hit. And Ghoul is a pretty straightforward spear wielder, but he has his own venom that he generates that is over it, and so each of his strikes is able to paralyze foes, which makes him extremely scary to fight. But with you guys helping, it would be fairly trivial for the returning Thunderblade sect members to defeat this group.
Yeah, my main thing I would try to do is like obviously help them kill them, but I don't want any of them to escape. So if any of them immediately, as if any of them were to try to escape, I would stop them and do everything that I can.
Okay, well, Grex is the one who is most likely to try to flee. And yeah, you
I would just
working
knock them
together.
down with a wall of force or something,
Yeah, absolutely. It probably wouldn't be how
or
it
a soul
goes.
cage, or
Yeah, the moment things start to look bad, Gratz would be the first to cut his losses and run. And if you locked him down in a field of force, that would make it fairly difficult for him to get away.
how they can kill them. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Also,
we're
we had Alex
I guess
King show up in chat. Hello, Alex. Nice to see you.
hola.
So that is the fall of Wogros and his loyalists. The Thunderblade sect is slowly starting to try and put itself back together. They are severely weakened. They first lost their guildmaster. They lost an elder or two, and are obviously extremely weak. It's a little too early, but in the coming weeks there will be rumblings of townships sort of defecting and going back to the de facto control of the various clans of those territories. Also, Alex says, "Nice to see you too." Thank you. Um, so that is the immediate noise that follows Wogros's fall. The city, for the most part, is kind of getting used to the changing political regime, and for the most part, has grown weary of really paying attention to it. Your guys' names, however, would be on the lips of most people in the city and beyond. For the most part, positive. Most people, as the storm breaks as it is, would start to hear the true story of what it was Wogros had planned, of what was coming for them. And so for the most part, he goes from a figure that was sort of legendary and then returned to sort of reviled now that he's gone. And you guys are the ones who have prevented this catastrophe from hitting the continent. But there are still quite a number of people who refuse to believe the news and consider you in a much less savory light. But they would be in the minority, people still clinging to the old legends of Wogros as the hero who started the Thunderblade sect. Also,
people take
they
up like
love the
half of the discourse on the postings that happen in the major forum.
There's always some trolls.
So people think it's about a 50-50 debate when it's actually like a 90-10 debate.
Yeah.
I would let it circulate for a few weeks with all of the information and just the rumors and stuff to spread around and for people to hear what actually happened.
Mm-hmm.
I eventually would then approach the Thunderblade sect to speak to the elders.
Okay.
So I don't know how that would go, but we could roleplay it.
Yeah, let me just go over to the Thunderblade sect, so that I remember who's still alive. Yeah.
Or like whoever would be in charge of it now.
So, the person who would be in charge of it at the moment, would be Isolde. She is the last surviving Grand Elder. She was banished when Logros took place, having fled, and there is a new Grand Elder in Relith. He was formerly one of the elders. He was the only elder to survive the cleansing that happened. So he is currently the new Grand Elder, and the two of them are the ones running the sect. But Isolde is kind of de facto sect leader at the moment, as they have nobody to replace. They still hadn't replaced the sect master when Wogros did return, so that is who you would be meeting with.
So I would go to the front gate. Hello.
Hello. What is it you seek?
I'd like to speak to the elders.
In what capacity?
The capacity of myself and a protector of the city, and someone who has information and information that they would probably like to have.
I see. So then, representing yourself as a bearer of information.
Sure.
All right. As you see, they turn and start scribbling out a message, but before they can finish writing it out, their head cocks up like they can hear something, and then they turn towards you. Please go in.
Would you like to take me to where I'm going?
Yeah, there would be somebody inside to guide you. You're taken over to one of the storehouses on the main level, not on any of the like floating islands that are chained down here. And you would be able to see Isolde is she appears to be overseeing some sort of repair or account or something that's going on here that has a bunch of people, and she's just watching over this. She looks over as you start to approach with your guide, taking the lead, and motions you to come join her. And you would find yourself standing on a balcony of sorts that's looking over this storehouse, and there's a bunch of people down below who are going through and just kind of combing over all of the items in it. Hello.
Hello, sir. How are you doing?
I'm doing well enough, considering the situation. Mostly thanks to you and yours.
I appreciate it. I'm glad to hear that you guys are doing okay and that the rebuilding's going along smoothly.
Well, it can't really start properly until we make sure there's nothing untoward left behind. Wogros was ever a petulant sort.
Yeah, if you need anything else, let me know. We can come help clear out some more if you guys have anything come up.
Perhaps we'll take you up on that.
For sure. I had a question for you. Now it's I'd like to return something to you out of respect, and then I'd also like to maybe make a withdrawal from that respect account.
I see. What is it that you have?
No. I'm going to open up a demi-plane and then poke my head in, cast telekinesis, and then the sword is going to come out of the demi-plane and rest on the ground beside us.
As it floats out and then rests on the ground, you see her breath hitch for a moment. I see.
We were able to find someone with an art who was able to sever it from Wolgros, and then I was able to put it somewhere that he could not find it.
Who was this?
Their clan. What was the name of the clan? I forgot.
You have specifically been asked not to spread that
information. Oh yeah. They wish to not be mentioned, but specifically not to talk about this at all.
Not
yeah,
like
no, I sorry.
Specifically not to talk about it at all, but what you were told is if people find out they're able to do that, then there will be no end to people coming to try to use their services or learn their technique.
Oh shit. Okay, yeah, I totally. Okay, sorry. Let me roll that back.
Okay.
We were able to get the sword. We were able to get the sword away from him, and I was able to put it somewhere he couldn't get it.
Yeah. Instead, you would have the little song and dance of like how, and you like carefully kind of dancing around.
I just feel like I planar shifted it into a demi-plane.
That shouldn't have kept him at bay for long, but all right.
Yeah, but he was too busy fighting the rest of us.
I see.
We also had.
heavy doubt on the
Yeah.
IC, but she doesn't press you
Well,
any
and I just
further.
turned around like we had potions of planar lock.
Right.
Either way, I wanted to return this to you guys because I know it's a artifact for.
It is a heavy history that we bear at this point. Wogros was the one who founded our sect, and this sword has ever held a legendary position among us. And now that he is gone completely, and his crimes are not whispers unknown to most, but public, it is with a heavy heart I am forced to take back this artifact. We need it now more than ever. I suppose
On
we
that
have to
note,
get used to that legacy.
She's like, I'm forced to take it back. By the way, he offered it.
on that note, I wanted to extend a hand of like helpfulness and cooperation, but I did have a little bit of a concern. Me and my party are not artists. We don't work with the art, and that has caused some trouble with us being able to deal with your sect and the other sects. And I believe there could have been a lot of death and suffering averted if maybe people took us a little bit more seriously and opened their ears to some voices that normally wouldn't listen to.
You see her, she gets this pensive look and considers for a while. Yes, I would be tempted to say that your current fame is likely to avoid such issues, but perhaps it would be pertinent if the Thunderblade sect were to accept you all as honorary elders. It's mostly a title.
It's fine.
No power comes with it other than the respect it confers and the ability to come and go from the sect as you please.
Sure, that's fine. I guess I'm going to be around a long time, and I'm sure you and other people will as well. It's just my main concern is what happened. Oh, sorry.
Not myself, I'm afraid. I'm nearing the end of my lifespan.
Well, then maybe this is important for you too. Let's say in 2 decades, 3 decades. Let's say you're not around here anymore. Let's say I've moved on and I'm no longer in the area. What happens if all of a sudden the Thunderblade sect becomes non-receptive to people that aren't of the sect or of the art? It's what I'm trying to get at is I've been around people and I've been in situations where sometimes your hill gets so high you can't see the people at the bottom. And most of the time that's fine until something like this happens and you miss a crucial bit of information, or you miss an opportunity, or you miss a sign that could have protected a lot of people just because people around you got too used to being where they are and were thinking of those people at their boot level. I'm not saying you have to bow down. I'm just saying it might be worthwhile to maybe be a little more interactive with non-art people and have a little bit more discourse or something.
Your words are worth considering.
Okay. And I want, I guess, this isn't a criticism. It's just an observation dredged up from a depth of weariness and exhaustion and loss of life. That's the root of it, I think.
Well, I shall take your words to my meditation. next I get a chance to rest, and I will think on them. That is the best I can offer from the sect at the moment.
No
I
worries.
think,
Feel free.
at least nominally, naming you as honorary elders should allay some of your troubles in a land like Yang.
In the short term, for sure. Thank you for the title. I'll let my teammates know.
We haven't fallen
I-
so
I-
far that we'll do it without some ceremony. So,
Oh, okay. Well, you let us know when I give them the address for like the hub or the mansion.
very well.
Just where we're at, and I give the sword back. And no compensation needed, no none of that. Just have it and the goodwill, and um, let's try to make a better Clouds.
Well, your contributions are appreciated. And let's.
Thanks, sold. And I'll shake your hand or whatever. And
She will
head
take
out.
your hand, give you a rather deep bow, and then you see her turn back to overseeing what's going on below as your guide will come over and, it's not yet official that you're elders, but if there's anywhere you'd like to go, I would suspect you're allowed run of the sect if you so desire, or I can lead you to the gate.
It's okay. Just the gate's all right. Thank you very much.
Very well. As he will take you to the gate and let you out there, and he whispers to the people there, and as you're leaving, they all get up and give you like a full proper bow as you head off.
I'll give a bow.
Damn.
I give like the version of a bow or head nod that would be required of that.
You're not really familiar with the Thunderblade sect itself, but just going by Yang standard, given your position compared to them, just a head nod would be fine from you.
Yeah.
Flip them off.
Give the head nod. All right, that's dealt with there. I would just head back to the mansion or to the people.
As you all would notice in the coming days, immediately obvious that the Thunderblade hangs behind the top of the Thunderblade sect thereafter at its largest size. So, like, picture like a 747 sized sword just hanging behind and above the Thunderblade sect from then after.
747 size.
Like the plane.
Yeah, so about 150 feet long.
Jesus.
I would mention to
How
the
did you
people,
get out of a demi-plane, like, in her room?
It wasn't that big. They made it bigger.
Oh, okay.
Yes, one of the abilities of the sword that you've seen before is its ability to grow large enough to carry many number of people on it, and they have it at that size hanging above the sect.
I thought I just misunderstood how big it's always been.
No.
This feels like the wrong scale.
This feels like it wouldn't have fit in the 30 by 30 demo plane.
Yeah. But you know what I mean? Like, I think if you're fighting something like a Tarrasque or a gigantic, huge giant or something, right? Like, having a bigger sword is probably better, but, I bet you there's
feels
situations...
like a world-killing sword. Like, you stab it into planets and they explode.
I'd mentioned to them, I'm like, I also wanted to give them back because I think them having the sword back will keep the vultures at bay while they recover.
That seems to be their thought as well, with it hanging as sort of like an implicit threat there of like the Thunderbolt.
Come at me, bro.
Yeah.
And like, we don't need
It's like, we're not dead. Come if you dare.
Yeah. We don't need an intersect war just because Wolgames is gone.
Would being an honorary elder of a sect make me eligible to cultivate?
It would be helpful.
Okay.
But by itself, so essentially where you're at with being an honorary member of the Thunderblade sect would be a gamble that is not a guaranteed death anymore. Of like, you might be able to get away with coming out as a new cultivator, but also people might go, who the fuck, and kill you anyways. it's sort of like at this point, instead of it's like, yeah, for sure people are gonna hunt and kill you, it's like, you know,
But I also have two of the
the constellations.
yeah, those
Yeah,
ones.
you have two of the constellations, though neither of them have come out publicly in support of you yet.
Yeah. But they would if
So you're
I
sitting at like a
like
30-70. 30% chance people decide you need to die, 70% chance you're pretty okay.
oh great.
Yeah.
Let me just roll a D100 real quick. Yes.
What do you want to say to Michaela? Hey babe, drive safe. It's really raining hard.
I don't have an aw.
Hey, drive safe. It's really raining hard. Send it.
I like how much Siri like cuts straight through.
Yeah.
Oh,
Streamline.
sorry guys, I should have muted.
That's okay. So then the next thing that would happen is you all would get an invitation from the Thunderblade sect to come and visit them in a few days' time in the afternoon for them to do the official ceremony of investing you with the position of honorary sect elder.
I'm gonna say I forgot to tell them about that
So you just
until the invitations come back,
you have
and then they show up. I'm like, yeah, I got us honorary elders.
What? When is this happening?
I returned the sword and I had a conversation with Isolde, and it worked out that we ended up being honorary elders in the sect.
Okay, cool. And that's just happened, and we're good.
I know
Now people have been so nice.
No, you are
well,
invited
no.
in 3 days to attend for the conferment ceremony.
Oh, so people have just been nice because I'm nice.
Famous.
Hot, famous,
Oh,
and honestly,
guys.
like just like hard to approach.
Yeah,
I try him.
you're like a challenge to men.
Yeah.
Just hear Dana tell me about
You gave up really easily, Dana.
it. I did not.
Uh-huh. You're basically her doormat.
I am not her doormat.
Uh-huh.
My concubine.
No.
I'm her concubine.
It's different.
Oh yeah, concubines known to be slaves.
Yeah.
What?
You step on doormats, you sit on concubine.
Okay, I'm leaving this
My
conversation.
mother had concubines and they couldn't leave the castle. So
wait, but we also have doormats and concubines in the harem.
yeah. Lance and Danon.
Well, no, like Jasmine, Sophie. Like you. I guess you guys have to choose. Do you always want to be doormat or concubine?
No, it's Danon and Lance. Why are you turning this on us?
Yeah, until you sleep with someone else, it's not a harem.
Well, the harem has expanded.
And then
Yeah, you slept with other people?
is there going to be new party members?
You don't have to sleep with your harem.
I think that's
why it's called
one
the harem.
rule.
No, there's lots of things in the people in the harem and stuff like that. You don't have to sleep with your
Sounds
concubines
very boring.
Why would you have a
fine.
harem if you didn't want to fuck them?
for a lot of reasons.
Like what?
For example, and I'll mention a noble who I know has like erectile dysfunction and can't like get it up. I'm like, he has a harem and he just has lots of arm candy. He wants good-looking girls to be around him that he can take to his parties.
He wants okay-looking girls.
Yeah.
I'll mention a really hot girl that like Jasmine despises a little bit. I'm like, what about Arlessa?
Who?
Arlessa.
Never heard of her.
Alessa Jacobson?
No. I just came up with the name.
That fucking bitch.
Anyways, are we gonna go to this? Are you guys gonna take the title or no?
Well, yeah, but I need like 5 days to prepare in 3 days. So
Okay,
I'll
well
be
you have
back.
3 days, so figure it out. Do you need anything from
Best shopping?
Me or
No, not
So-
you. Sophie.
I'm trying to get it custom made if I'm going to become an elder.
Yeah, I'm just looking for like inspiration.
Hey, if you guys want them custom made, you should go see Antonio.
But I don't know. He's been icing me on the whole contract thing.
But isn't there that also Lamia lady that Jasmine is super friends with that lives here now?
I don't know.
She lives back home.
I just know that
Thing.
I just know that Antonio does good work.
He does do good work, but he should be doing good work for me.
You can have partners. You don't have to have all your. You can have employees and partners.
Okay, well, you tell him that because he didn't seem interested.
Well, you are new to the business. He's been doing this a long time. Beholio is well established.
5% is a lot.
He only wanted 5%.
Well, no, he didn't seem interested in 5%.
Oh, yeah, because that's crazy.
It is coming in a little high.
Jasmine, would you take a deal where you only got 5% of it?
Of an enterprise like Rosethorn Apparel, I'd be lucky.
And like you would just accept it if someone said you get 5%, nothing else.
Well,
And this is any company. This is you.
History.
This is you as Rosethorn going to other people, and they go, no, 5% only.
The exposure alone that his brand will have to world markets.
Wasn't he there before you?
Yeah, but not well known. We didn't know about him, and we live here.
It's because we didn't buy fancy clothes.
Exposure is awesome.
I'm going to throw it out there. I'm like, Jasmine, we didn't know because we had been in the city for like 2 months and weren't buying fancy shit. Beholio's been here for 25 years. I bet you Beholio has a dress in every single noble's house on this city.
Yeah, well, I don't know how I feel about the last name Beholio on
Okay, that's true.
my apparel.
That's
Well,
true.
That's fine. I'm just saying.
What are you wearing tonight? Beehole? No thanks.
You know his icon is AB, right?
A butthole?
Yeah, AB. Just say the letter A, letter B stylized. I get what you're doing.
I am
understand.
trying to be reasonable, but he just doesn't seem like he's good to work with.
Here, I have a challenge for you. I'm going to mention another like really well-known, famous clothing brand. I'm like, why don't you go approach Arothia and offer them a 5% deal? See what they say. Just to see what they say.
We're our competition.
Yeah. So's Beholio.
Not really. He's like local talent. We're playing in a different league.
Okay.
He's been in your league before you even graced the steps.
Okay, whose side are you on?
I'm just saying.
You're
You need some
saying
perspective.
no, this is like I'm trying to help you in business, and you're saying it's crazy a guy didn't take a 5%.
That's 5% of our global brand.
5% gets him nothing. You give him literally nothing.
It is 5
And he doesn't benefit, and you're trying to say that you're benefiting him. It's like going, oh, I'm going to take away your T-shirt, but you look really good without a shirt.
No other
Nice.
partner has ownership.
Hi,
Mm-hmm.
Lauren.
I don't think you understand what you are offering and the actual expectation. Maybe you should relearn business.
Okay, you guys have just been talking to Danon, and you're just like saying what he's saying to try and make
You
me
think I
look
talked
bad.
to Danon?
David just drowning, trying to be the voice of reason.
Look, fine, I will think about it.
Okay.
And
All right.
percent.
Up.
You're right, it's double.
Just because you're rich doesn't mean you have to hoard it. By the way, I'm gonna go hoard my wealth.
So let me go back to my country real quick.
And also I put it in order for 2 suits from Antonio's.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can absolutely put in an order for 2 suits. Is anybody else doing any prep for the ceremony or for anything else in the intervening 3 days before this is going to take place?
I don't know if I have time to have a whole gown made, except for by magic. So begrudgingly, I will go to Antonio's.
I'll
And,
go with her.
I'm
Yeah.
also going to Antonio's.
Oh, great! Yeah.
I was already
I
planning
guess
on it.
any of the other girls like Danon, or if
Yeah, Dana would come to.
Lance,
my
you
sister.
can too. Lance, get a
Oh,
suit.
yeah.
Since I'm
I was
incapable of negotiating.
I was going to just wear my armor.
Why would you wear your armor to a fancy ceremony?
Because it's ceremonial armor. It's fancy armor.
If you don't want to
Lance.
wear a tux to match me, fine. You choose.
Okay, yeah, I should probably get
It kind of looks like you're scared.
Yeah.
I do have a suit though that I could wear already.
Get a new one.
You?
You have to match me. I'm getting a new dress.
I thought you only owned that armor.
We've
Just-
been to events together.
We have.
Are you getting senile already?
No, I just have no memory of you doing anything noteworthy at any event ever.
What's your favorite home for the infirm in the city? Just for
Mom's
near
house?
future reference.
What? What are you
I don't have
talking about?
one.
Well, I mean, the Alzheimer's is setting in pretty early. We should probably be thinking about.
We can give her we can give her a recommendation to St. Mun's. That's where Dahlia was at.
Yeah, that's a good idea. They seem decent.
Anyways,
Yeah,
You're not
just-
funny.
we're here, guys. Antonio, what's going on?
Dan, you play Antonio. Welcome to Talking to Yourself D&D
Fuck!
2.0.
Hello, welcome to Antonio's. Ah, yes, good to see you, Cyrus. Wonderful, wonderful. What will you be needing today? So I'm gonna get a suit. Lance is gonna get a suit. Sylphie's getting a dress. You'll have to talk to her. I have no idea what she wants. Sylphie, you get one?
Yeah.
Okay. Dahlia, you get one too?
Yeah, I want
Gain a new suit?
I mean, if you don't have time to do this many people, so we need them in 3 days. And I definitely have some others that I have seen before that I'm interested in. So if you think that would be too soon.
Yeah, we want 3 custom suits, 3 custom dresses. But you're the guy that can do custom. Anybody? But there's no problem. I believe you said 3 days? Yeah, no, 3 days. I could have them done in 1. Okay. All right. We'll talk to my assistant. He'll take your measurements. Isaac, you're the assistant. He's the
Didn't
smaller gnome guy.
you measure me last time?
Oh yeah, no, he has some of your guys' measurements. He doesn't have everybody's.
Yeah.
Are you trying to say that my measurements have changed? Because I promise you they have not.
He looks at you, snaps his fingers a couple times. No, you're same.
Thank you.
As you guys could go over and get measured as so what is everybody getting for their couture, their costume?
So the way this works, basically what he would do, and I'll kind of talk it through it. You go up, you have a conversation with him. He does minor illusion, he uses silent image, and he will he gets you to he does it in the fitting room with you, because he would get you to go down to your undergarments, and then he would use silent image, put the dress over top of you, and as he's doing it, it has 360-degree mirrors. You can see everything, and you tweak it, tell him how you want it, and you get it to exactly how it looks. Then he goes and he will take a snapshot of the image for his own self. Then you go out and you pick your material. So you'll go to his assistant, and you can pick gold, silver, platinum, silk, cotton, whatever kind of materials you want. You get to choose, and that's really where the price point comes in. He has like a, I'm going to say he probably has like a 20 or 25% charge that he charges for the dress, and then everything else is just the materials kind of thing. So you guys can make whatever you want.
Okay,
Nice.
do the Thunderbolts have colors?
The Thunderblade set.
Yeah.
So
Thunderbolts, the hit movie by Marvel.
their banner is a blue mountain with a golden bolt of lightning striking it. The background color doesn't matter too much, though it is usually black or white. So that would be their colors.
Really? All right, I know what I'm getting.
Watch out.
So Cyrus will go, and I'm going to choose like silk with like some. So I choose like gold thread for the mountain bolt. I'm going to do a white silk suit with a golden like metal link belt, and it looks like a little bit more like Eastern style kind of suit. And then it has the emblem of the a smaller emblem of the Thunderblade sect on like the right breast, and then a larger one on the back. And it has like a black circle, and then inside is the blue with the gold mountain and the lightning bolt, and then the suit's white.
Okay.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Lance, for his part, is probably going for something that he can wear if you guys are doing anything else around the Thunderblade sect. So he'll probably go for like a very nice gi that is like doubles as a suit, but is still like functional enough to train in if you need. So he will go with
Very
something
functional.
similar.
Very feng shui.
Very functional indeed. What about the two of you? Do you have anything in particular you're going for?
I'm searching it up right now.
Yeah, I think Desmond will end up in something like a pale teal kind of like flowy number with like a big old silver thunderbolt sort of running diagonally down the middle of it.
Okay, cool. Adelia, for her part,
Something flowy and nice.
has a few dresses that she has wanted for a while, and is probably going to do one of those. So is less like worried about matching the Thunderblade sect kind of motif, and is just going for like a nice dress to do the ceremony in. So she would probably get something like frilly with like black and blue with lots of lace work and stuff like that done to it. A dress that kind of like hugs her body on the top and then is very loose and flowy with lots of lace on the bottom.
Mm-hmm. All right, and then I get. Oh, can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, you guys just kind of pick your price point of what you want to spend for gold. Or like yeah, just pick kind of what you're thinking. But he would go, he would take all your measurements, and then he would say, "Oh, yep, come back in probably 2 hours,
Okay.
2 or 3 hours."
Hey, Antonio, I wanted to chat with you for a second.
Yes.
I think maybe we got off on the wrong foot last time we negotiated.
Okay.
I've been thinking, and you are a valuable man.
Thank you.
Rosethorn Apparel very much respects your skills and your knowledge, and we'd be open to renegotiating a potential partnership.
Okay. What do you have in mind?
Well, I think it's more of what I can do for you. You have a great business here, but you have trouble getting access to as many clients as possible.
This true distribution can be a struggle.
I can get your dresses all over the continent with no extra work on your part.
How would you do that?
Well, we already have the infrastructure.
Sorry, I'm unfamiliar with the infrastructure you're speaking of.
We have shops and stands, big and small, in all the major cities across the coast. We're slowly expanding through the mainland.
Sweetheart, I already paid the store merchants to take my dresses all over the place.
Yeah, well, why pay double?
But I'm telling you, this my question is, am I just going to give dresses to you to pay the store merchants to take all over the place? It seems like same thing. What makes you more valuable? How are you better?
Well, the store merchants are only part of our distribution network.
That was my question about the infrastructure.
Yeah, we have wizards we've hired bringing things places. We have
That's something
instruments
new.
going all over the place. The Arcanum's involved.
Who are you partnered with?
Well, we have a little bit of a partnership going on with. I don't know if you've heard of the Arcanum.
Part of the Arcanum, yes.
Yeah, that little place. They are helping us out with some teleportation circles, a little network set up to make transportation faster.
Okay. I want you to know I can use the portals if I pay.
Yeah, but you wouldn't have to worry about it, is what I'm offering you. You can
I
just make
suppose.
dresses. Isn't that what you love?
Sure, there's a who is your distribution in town? Who do you use? What are you doing in towns? Like, how are you getting your product on?
What am I doing in town?
You have a partnership with Cyrus.
Yeah, you have the hub, and then you also have shops around in town. So your distribution in town would be direct, like direct to consumer. And then
Yeah.
you
So
have
the best thing.
merchants that you deal with. You also have a very direct relationship in your home country, specifically with one or two of the like main noble houses there. And then yeah, you've got your other stuff that you've built out, like expanding over the territories and whatnot.
The big thing that you have that ties it all together is you have a port, like with the hub, you have a portal straight to your country. You have a portal to multiple planes, as well as access to a teleportation circle to go to any of the major cities, with room for a market space right at the hub. Plus, there's a store merchant access.
Yeah, so I tell him that. I tell him about the hub. I assume this is like Danon whispering in my ear all of the actual information.
Yeah, he's like, oh, and Clan Rock, and yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you're partnered with Cyrus.
Yeah, he's all right.
No, I've heard he's had a lot of distribution around the city. Things have been changed. You know, and always good for another market. You said the plane of fire?
Yeah, through, I don't know, dwarves or something. I was really paying attention. But yeah, there's a portal. I think he wants to do all the planes eventually. Yeah, we just have a big building just in the middle of the hub.
Okay, well, I could be interested. Here's what I think. I think I would probably still do my own distribution in the city. I have a lot of good clientele and a lot of contacts in clouds, okay? But I would be interested in your access to getting my stuff to market in other places. I can do it. It's just slower and more expensive. And yes, I would agree. I'd rather make dresses and suits than worry about business contracts and invoices. So, what I charge materials plus 25%. I would be willing to give you 7% of my sale. That would put me to an 18% profit, and that would give you 7% of my 25 for distribution. If, for example, your dress that you bought today, give me a price point. I'm thinking somewhere between 500 and 1,000, probably.
Probably like
2,000?
Yeah.
Okay. So, for example, you would have made a quick 140 gold on the dress that you sold, that you bought today.
It's workable.
You know, I have the
partnering with our creative team.
we can have a discussion down the road, but I think that I might be one of the most creative people in the city, and I have been doing this for a long time, my friend. I might have a hard time accepting someone else's view on what I should make.
Oh, of course, of course. Another
But I
time.
would be interested in, getting the Beholio name out, and I'd be happy to do it with Rollstone Apparel, and you could make some money. I have a lot of people that contact me for dresses from all over the continent. I've even had orders from, what's that? He turns to his assistant. What's that one? The other continent?
Well, there's different
Camri-
continents, sir.
Cam, Camriel? Not Camriel. The
No.
one with the orcs.
Well,
Big
both
wall.
of them have orcs, but I think you're referring to Etlandir.
No, that's
Oh,
the
no,
elven
sorry,
one.
that's the elves. Andradica.
That's the one. Sometimes I get orders from Andradica as well.
Hmm.
So, if we were able to get things around, I get the orders, I make the dress, I do the invoice. You pay me for the dress. You pay me my, obviously 108, cost plus my 18, and then you can sell for the 25. The one thing that I would say is my prices are firm. I will accept no scalping. If I tell you it is $1,000 dress, you get your 7%, I get my 18%. That is what it is. If I find out that you are selling my $1,000 dress for $1,500, we will have a problem.
What do you take me for? Of course.
I take you for someone who has good ears and will listen to someone when making a business agreement. I sell quality goods, but I'm not out here to tear the scalp off someone.
Of course.
That is a foundation, the bedrock of my company and of what I bring to this world. And I believe that beauty has a price, but it should not be outpriced.
Your reputation is all I'm after. Why would I want to hurt that?
Well, that's good because my reputation is the most important thing to me. So, yes, I'm interested. If you are, it could be good.
Well, I'll have my people get in touch with details.
Okay. If, what I. Sorry,
Let's take an ad break, folks. We're just past the hour. We're gonna run a quick 3-minute ad break. We're gonna pause as well, so you're not gonna miss out on anything. And we'll be right back, folks. Bye. Hello, everybody. Welcome
Dan's
back.
not here.
Let me get my co-conspirators. Oh, Dan's in conversation. That's okay. The cameras came on. That's what's
He's like,
important.
Dan literally told us he'd be right back, and then you're like, okay, let's start.
That's believable.
Hey, sorry guys. Hey, sorry, I had to
Fine.
deal with some stuff.
Yeah, no
No,
problem.
no, it's not your fault.
It's ruined.
Right, I just
She
moved
told
my
me I
name,
should go
so.
live.
All right.
All
My
right.
my dinner just got here, so.
Oh, nice. Okay,
Oh,
so was there anything to finish up at Antonio's, or is the party moving
Oh,
along?
I think we talked about jazz and they got a little deal there. I think it's cool.
yeah. The only potential thing is if Runa found stuff for her dress to show.
Yes. Yes.
I did. Where is it? So it's this like. So it's. Give me a second. It's like this flowery, like corset-y type druid dress. I don't know. I literally can't describe it.
Oh, okay.
Mm.
That's cute.
Someone else describe it.
I think flowery type corsetti type druidy dress is fantastic.
Yeah, perfect. It's
Nice.
druidy. It's a little
It's a-
corsetti.
It's a lot more information a lot of people would give.
I like to imagine everybody doing what I did and leaning into their screen to try and
Yeah.
see the
Yeah.
dress.
Let's just try and see it. Alex V. King says, so cute. Oh my goodness. Yes, very cute. As yeah, you guys each put in your order. Like he said, it'll take him a few hours. You guys return a few hours later to find that Antonio has been assassinated. So the dresses aren't coming. They robbed the shop.
My
The money's
business
gone.
opportunity.
And the corpse has been made away with. No piece of it remaining. So that's the end of that. Yeah, you guys can go back a few hours later, and he would have the stuff prepared for you all.
I'm gonna tip him an extra $1,000
Mm.
because I'm rich.
Are you gonna tip him an extra grand minus 7%?
No, I'm actually a whole extra $1,000. I'm generous.
Yeah.
Right?
As
I didn't have to give up any equity.
He nods at you with a smile, and that's what you would get. But you actually roll me a insight.
Oh, I'm great at these.
Alex B. King says he leaned in and zoomed in. Yeah. I almost pulled my glasses out.
That's a natural 20. Apparently, I am good at these.
You can see he's been replaced by
What's
doppelgangers.
your
This is not
total?
Antonio.
20.
No, like your total.
Yep.
Oh, really? You have no wisdom?
I have a +0. Yep.
Okay.
It's Jasmine.
You would get that. He's thankful, and he is not somebody who gives over the top flattery and like acknowledgement of it. He also understands you just had a conversation about a business agreement, so he is reserved about the show just because of the conversation they have. But his nod and smile would be the equivalent of somebody being like, "Oh, thank you so. Oh my God, this is incredible." That's you get the vibe of.
Gotcha.
Right. So then we move along to the day of the conferment ceremony itself. You all would find yourself at the Thunderblade sect. You guys would be brought in well before the ceremony and treated kind of as lavishly as they're able, which is really lavishly even given their current state. So you guys would be brought in. You would each have 3 to 4 attendants to help you dress and make any preparations that you want. Any last minute stuff. You would be fed and watered while you're there, and eventually you guys would find yourselves standing along with Isolde, and what was the other lady's name again? And Relith. So the Dragonborn. Standing on the lowest of the islands where the sect itself can see you. During this time, a number of important figures have been invited out from clouds to come as well. So there would be a small gathering of some of the more influential merchants and mostly martial artists and the like from clouds itself, as Relith would be the one leading the ceremony. And she would have you each up in front of this. There would be some talk of the deeds you have done, your contribution to Yang, Clouds, and the Thunderblade sect in particular, ending with a deep appreciation for your guys' rescuing of the sect from itself, as she would take each of you up and formally offer you positions as honorary elders of the sect. And she would give each of you a pin that you can put on your clothing that would show you as members of the Thunderblade sect. As each of you,
I have a question.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
So in between, like before we went there, I would have done a little bit of research. I want to make a like a show of thanks. I was going to donate a certain amount of money worth of building materials to help them rebuild.
Okay.
Basically, like, through the hub. I was just wondering, like, having talked to somebody, like, what's an appropriate? Is it 2, 5, 10,000? Like, what would be
So
a number that would be
building
helpful but
materials is
not
really
over?
what's required. Like the Thunderblade sect proper didn't really get damaged. What they're missing is they lost a lot of their most powerful members, like their grand elders, their sect leaders. So what they're facing is like a talent drain at the moment, less of like an infrastructure issue.
Yeah, and maybe more of like a show of port.
Mm. Yeah. What did you have in mind for a show of support?
More so, what I would do then is I would buy. They probably wouldn't have like a scroll of sending.
The Thunderblade sect?
Yeah.
They would have lots of methods for getting messages across the territory. I'm sure they would have some scrolls of
But
sending.
through me, right? Okay. Well, either way, what I would do is I would offer them. I'd buy like whatever time. No, I'd probably just extend like, hey, in this time of upheaval when you guys are struggling and rebuilding, feel free to call on us, right, if you need any help, kind of thing.
Sure. Yeah.
You give a shout and we'll come the best we can.
Yeah. So that would probably be made public in the speech then, with them saying, ending with the like saved the sect from itself, and have agreed to be staunch allies of the sect in the future if anything is to come up, and then she would approach each of you and offer you the ability to accept or decline a position as honorary elder, and as each of you accept, assuming you all accept. Okay.
I would have cleared this with the party as well. Like before I offered to like help them out, I would have asked the party, like, are you guys okay with that?
Yeah.
Like if we help the Thunderblade if they need help. Like let's say Trill Clan starts attacking the Thunderblades, we would help them out.
As long as it's not
Just
too much.
defending. No, just defending. And they would have to be the ones that would call us, kind of thing.
If I'm free, I wink at you. It's a yes.
Okay.
As
Yeah, so I accept.
As each of you accepts one by one, she would give you the pin, and you guys would get a bow from the gathered audience in total, including a half bow from Relith and from Isolde as well here at the top.
Is detachment there?
Detachment is not.
Huh.
No, he is still in the mountains waiting for the one he has chosen as a teacher to accept him, and they have firmly rejected him, and he is just waiting for them to change their mind.
Mm-hmm.
As
Funny.
each of you get your pin, your bow from the gathered crowd, it would descend into celebration thereafter. It would be fairly formal at the Thunderblade sect itself. There would be some food, people wandering around and chatting. However, you guys would receive a bunch of invitations to after parties, with people kind of competing to get you to come to theirs. There's like 4 or 5 people here who would like approach you guys separately of like, so we're doing a little event after just to celebrate your new title, your new position, your great deeds, and I was just really hoping you would make an appearance at my estate. And somebody else come up like, oh yes, we're doing a little extra celebration. If you wanted to come, we thought perhaps we would spotlight you and your recent achievements. It'll be happening at the docks. And like you guys will get like 5 or 6 of these.
I was like, which one do you think are like the most fun / advantageous for like building our notoriety?
It
And like
depends who you want to build it with. So there's like
just-
2 or 3 of them that would be from the different martial arts schools in the city, which you guys have interacted with a bit at like the underground fight arena and whatnot. There would be 1 or 2 from the merchants. Probably the main one would be the one that is happening on the floating casino, which is definitely like the most high profile one for the merchants. And then there's a few others from like other smaller factions in the city that like gathered together have a fair bit of weight, but aren't like a mecca like the Martial Arts Association or the Merchant Union, right?
and we can like split up and divide and conquer if you guys want to go to different parties.
Yeah, they're all obviously hoping that you choose them and all come to the same one. But if you guys wanted to split up and make appearances at the various ones, you could. But yeah, they're all kind of like they're all happening at the same time immediately after, and they're all confident you're coming to theirs.
What are you guys thinking?
We should probably make an appearance at all of them.
We
Pick the best one after that.
okay. Why don't we start at start at the smaller ones and make it to the bigger ones at the end?
Or we could split up and meet at the best one.
Well, there's 6 of us, so 3 and 3.
Yeah. Sure.
Lance, Danon, and Sylphie. Me, Jasmine, and Dahlia.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's meet up at the Merchant Guild, the Merchant Party, and then let's just start at the split up. We'll start at the smaller ones and work our way there. That way, we each have 2 parties to go to, and we'll meet up at the last one. So let's say maybe we'll go and we'll spend half an hour at each party, and we'll meet up in about an hour and a half at the Merchants Guild.
Yeah.
All right. Sounds good.
So then my question is, Alex B. King says, "Oh, Kitty, yeah, Kitana is guest starring on this episode for sure."
Annoying the fuck out of me.
So my question is, how pliable are each of you to people trying to convince you to stay with food and alcohol and merriment and much social pressure?
I can't drink,
Fair.
so
How
they don't have a
easily,
ball in that court.
convinced to stay longer are you?
How attractive are these people?
Yeah, that's an
Quite.
important question.
Quite.
Are they I will if I'm flirted with. If I'm not flirted with, like in like a help, like me and Lance have talked about it. Sylphie just likes being looked at. She doesn't care about like she never wants to fuck another person ever in her life, but she likes being admired and looked at and like being like shine upon. So the way you keep her is if you're like, babe, hey, like those are some cool snakes. Let's talk about your achievements. Like her ego.
Yeah.
Playing to her ego and how
Okay.
beautiful she is.
Yeah.
Also, she got her aura of beauty, meaning everyone thinks she is.
Yeah.
I'm sticking to the schedule. Like I'm being polite. I'm making friends, but I'm also like at my half an hour at those first 2 parties. I'm heading out.
Yeah.
And I'm fine if the girls want to stay at the parties, then I'm fine. But I'm making it to the merchant party.
Yeah.
I will make my rounds like very quickly and then immediately like go to whoever flattered me the most when I was there.
So
like I'll spend like 5 minutes at every party just kind of wanting to go back to the one that I liked the most.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so then you're each gonna get a different DC. But each of you make me your choice of a persuasion or a insight check. As these people, these parties, they are trying very hard to keep you around. So if what works is flattery and being interested in you, they're going to figure that out as quickly as possible and send up people who want to talk all about Sylphie and talk about Sylphie's achievements and keep you around. Same with Jasmine. Like if what works is being interested in her or seeming rebellious or exclusive or something, then they are going to invite you up to the private table or whatever it takes there. If Cyrus is just like coming and going and keeping his schedule, they will try their best to delay you with like, oh, one last toast or like, oh, you have to meet this or whatever. So each of you go ahead and make your roll.
34.
34. Okay.
Persuasion.
Yeah.
But what is it for? Why
So
am I
this
persuading them to stay?
This is to see how well you are able to keep your schedule.
So, consider persuasion. I'm too good at both of them. I'm rolling with disadvantage.
Okay, I was giving you a harder DC because you are more pliable to it, but you are welcome to roll with disadvantage if that feels appropriate.
Okay. So I rolled a 16 and an 18.
Okay.
So 16 plus 17 equals 33.
33? Yeah.
Alex.
Yeah.
You would probably have advantage because I'm assuming you'd be talking to them for more than a minute.
That's a really good point.
Sylphie's too good.
My first roll was still higher, which was a 37.
Okay.
So Christ.
What I like
what kind of bonuses do you guys have?
I have a plus 17 and plus 11 to insight and a plus 17 to persuasion. I have a lot of plus 11s and plus 10s.
Quite good at these things.
Animal handling plus 11, history plus 10, insight plus 11, investigation plus 10, perception plus 11, persuasion plus 17, religion plus 10.
I have a plus 10 in persuasion and deception. And with a spell, I was still only able to get a 34.
I'm a skill junkie.
What I like about this is you've got a bunch of people who, spend their life in these sort of events, who are very good at, softly strong-arming people into staying or keeping them around. And they're each meeting like a sort of different iron wall, with Cyrus just managing to deftly and politely excuse himself without leaving any disrespect or any sour feelings about it. You have Jasmine, who is probably doing the opposite of like, not the opposite of Cyrus, but is like, oh, you should stay for one more. You're like, why don't you come with me? Like, we've got to go check out this next part.
Mm-hmm.
And like are sectioning off a few people from each party. And you have Sylphie, who is like either just slowly collecting awestruck admirers who find their normally silver tongued like having like lead in their mouth, or
my tongue like emerald, like gold, like diamonds compared to their silver.
They're used to being suave, keeping people around, and there's just something, an aura about you that they find themselves tongue-tied, unable to think straight. As you guys each glide through the many attempts to keep you, as you guys would all find yourself at the and what's the name of the ship again? At the Grand Casino, the massive frigate that is stationed mostly permanently here, that houses the Grand Casino, the Marid
Would it have been like
Shah,
a flagship back in the day?
the summer here. What's that?
Would it have been like a flagship? back in the day?
No, it was purpose built to be a casino. It
Oh,
is
okay.
like way bigger than most flagships would be. This is also where Yoloris lives, the person who put out your loan originally, who you've gone to see a number of times. And
I
you
paid it
guys,
all.
what's that?
I paid her all.
You did. So you guys would
Mm.
find yourself at the Grand Ballroom of the Grand Casino, which is not somewhere you guys have been before. And it has been lavishly set up for the celebration. The celebration doesn't purport to be all about you, but you guys are the honored guests, the VIPs du jour of the celebration. And you guys would find yourselves kind of um, uh, brought in like royalty. There would be an announcer at the door as you come in. There's lots of merchants going around. You can see it's a big enough event that there's room for people to sneak in. Where some of the smaller events, it's like you couldn't sneak somebody in. Everybody knew who was important enough to be here. But this is like a big event with people coming and going, drinks flowing, the merchants rubbing shoulders, and you would be able to see that sitting at the like raised tables here with the more important merchants would be Shah Demothes himself, who is here in his full Marid form. There is just like his lower half is just a liquid that kind of flows in this like river like pattern of the chair around him. He's got gills and frills coming off of him, blue skin, as you see the water elemental here presiding over this and waving you all over as some of the attendants here would be bringing you over towards him.
Who's do we know him?
So you guys have
It's the
never
guy who
met
sold you a
him.
unicorn.
Oh, he's the rich guy that I like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He is so he's a Marid, which is a type of water elemental in technicality, but he is like a water genie essentially. He is the one who owns the Grand Casino here, and he tends to summer here. Though he does not spend all his time here. It's not his only property, and he is waving you all over. Dan, you have your mic flipped up.
1 second.
1 seconding.
Keep going along.
Okay. So yeah, you guys see him waving you up. You have a moment to stop and confer among yourselves if you want, or you can go up to meet the Shah
Oh,
right
I'm so
away.
excited. I haven't seen this guy in so long. I'm going to walk right up to him.
I have a plan of what I want to say to him.
Okay. Yeah.
I'll let the others kind of have their moments and then attack me at the end.
As yeah, you guys make your way up. You guys see him. There's some seats that are getting like pulled out and brought out as you approach by a couple of the servants here and set out to fit your party. And he laughs out. The heroes themselves come to join me. Be most
I knew
pleased.
before we were heroes.
Say that again, Rena.
You knew us before we were heroes.
I have kept up somewhat on your great deeds, it is true. I understand you were there for that most unfortunate incident at my auction.
Yes, that's where we met. You remember?
Mm. I have some memory of it, yes. I am so happy you could come to join us. Please be seated. There is food laid out, so if you desire anything else, it can be provided most quickly.
Isaac, I'm insight checking.
Okay.
I'm insight checking this, like, what is it? It feels like a trap.
Okay. Go ahead and make an insight check.
25.
25. So, also with your experience with the country, the Shahs are rather self-important for the most part. Some of them with good reason, but a lot of them control very large trading empires across various planes. And they tend to think of themselves as like more important than most localized rulers. And some of them deserve that, and others do not. But what you certainly have here is somebody who is excited for the pomp a celebration, of a dinner, of throwing a lavish feast, and is looking to essentially flaunt his wealth and the impressiveness of his party to you all, and is excited to have heroes to make the party more lively and exciting.
That's funny.
Yeah. No signs of a trap here. This is a man who likes to throw a good party, and this is a great excuse.
We're saying this is Dionysus.
No, this is Dimothes.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
That's his name.
You didn't get my joke. That's what I'm hearing.
Oh, I see. Yes, I get what you're saying.
No,
Sorry,
that's not as funny
I thought
anymore.
you
You missed
misheard the
it.
name.
You missed it.
Yeah. No, I thought
It's
you missed
on
it.
you.
They're both Greek names, but yes, this is Dionysus
Yeah.
essentially.
Alex has the right sound for it.
Yes. Yes,
All right. I would go up and talk to him after when everybody's done.
Certainly.
Yeah. I'm drinking. I'm hanging out.
Okay. Yeah. So you guys would find yourself seated at the table of honor here, raised above the rest of the party. There are stairs going down if you guys want to go and join. There's a band playing on one side of the ballroom. There's dancing going on. And then along the other side, there are like professional dancers that would be constantly changing out and doing different routines along with the music. People coming and going for the most part. Not really able to approach your table, although it's subtle. There are a few servants that will like head off anybody trying to just like walk up to the table here without an invitation.
Nice.
From you or the Shah, as you guys can sit and drink or join the festivities down below. The Shah, for his part, is just smiling and watching over this all. As Cyrus, you would have your moment with the Shah if you desired.
I'm also just chilling with the Shah. I'm not going back to the party.
Certainly. Daniel, take it away.
Name's Timothy's.
Timothy's, yes.
No, Timothy's. Not sure if you kept up with. Well, I'm sure you have kept up with what I have going over at the hub.
The portals, yes.
Yeah, out of character. I have the fire plane. I have the teleportation circle. Did I have one more plane? I thought I set one more portal up. I don't remember though.
I don't believe so. I believe you have the infrastructure to set one more portal up. I would need to look to be sure. Let's see here. But I know you definitely haven't partnered with anybody else yet. Let's see.
No, yeah, not yet. And what was this? It was
so you have the Skydock, and you have the teleportation circle, and you have the portal to the plane of fire.
Which is the retardant, or what was that city called?
Where is that? Varnash.
Varnash, okay. I mentioned I'm like, well, we're expanding. I have a fully functional type for the storm, for the ships and for the storm merchants. I actually have a plane to Varnash as well, which I guess I've been told flips 50-50 between the plane of fire and the plane of water.
Perhaps you are right. I do not keep a special track myself of the various cities that we service. Perhaps they are among our legend.
Yeah, well, I was wondering if we could maybe talk about maybe having, like, if you guys needed some distribution partners, or if you were interested in maybe having one of our markets in the hub.
You are looking for help establishing a relationship with someone else for your hub. Do I understand correctly?
Possibly the plane of water, or somewhere that you would suggest?
Well, the plane of water is a sort of place for trade. Very cutthroat, but with the right sort of connections, as he kind of like drums his fingers on his own chest at that, clearly kind of pointing to himself. If anyone can make a killing.
Kinda.
Well, what would you suggest? Where should I set up a portal, or what would you recommend?
Oh, well, I would be remiss to throw out a suggestion without giving it the proper weighty analysis such a request from a hero as yourself deserves. But I
Well,
would
feel free
have
to
an
consider it.
analyst or a six look into it for you.
For sure, yeah, and I'd be happy to offer you one of the not stalls. What the fuck did I call them?
You have your
Um,
stores and your stalls.
offer you one of the store locations and possibly like some of the outdoor stalls as well in the market if you
Oh,
wanted them in
one
the
of the
hub.
store, really?
Whatever.
Well,
Hey,
how,
if you have room for more, um, obviously I'm trying to offer an equal opportunity. But if you have different products or different needs, we can always have a conversation. You'd be 200 feet, 300 feet from a teleportation circle, and have access to the plane of fire and the plane of water if it worked out like that within 300 feet of your stalls.
as you see him like snap his fingers a couple of times, and somebody approaches him, and he whispers something to them, and they whisper a few times something in his ear. And there's like a full minute of them like whispering something to him. And yes, we took a look at whether it would be viable to purchase a location at your hub. I remember now. I think we were
Mhm.
waiting to see if you survived its establishment before we put too much coin towards it.
Okay. Well, I don't like so when I open the portal. Mhm.
No, as you expand to full scale, given your proximity to that very similar hub just up the coast, we imagine
Mhm.
something will be done by them, whether it is assassins or something more nefarious.
I can't remember. Did we get attacked by somebody from them, or was there something that happened?
No, not yet.
Isaac?
No,
No.
nothing's
Hey, well,
nothing's
we
so far.
seem to be doing good now. I have I've got a good pocket of coin, and I've got some good security. I have a full-fledged out force. I also have um trainer allies, and I will show him a minor image of the two Cinder Hulks.
Well, it is always good to be well guarded, but
Yeah.
you have my interest, perhaps beyond the whispers of my analysts.
Well, you know what? Let me know if you're interested. I'd love to get some advice and possibly have a relationship in that regard.
Well, you need to visit more often then. I am here for a few weeks and throughout the summer, most ordinarily. I would be happy to take you under my guild.
Um, um, Isaac,
Yeah.
that other portal hub place we were talking about, that has a lot of demonic influence, right?
It does indeed. This is the country that Jasmine is a noble of. Their major
Okay.
city has a fully functioning version of what you have been setting up, a portal to each of the elemental planes, one to the heavens and one to the hells, and the royal family resides in the city connected to it in the hells. Although because of their relationship with the demons, they have lost um, their fiat as the royal family and are now royal family in name only and members of the ruling council in reality.
So just so you remember, like my hub has the tongues thing from Hallow all across the market.
Yeah.
But at the entrances and by the portal, there's Hallow that stops demons, undead, and can't remember what the other one was, but demons and undead for sure from entering.
Yeah.
Like demons, devils, and undead can't enter my area. It's like through the portals or through the entrance ways. Yeah, and that's all through Hallow.
And so you would have heard a few months after you set that up that the Hallow spells would have went up in that city as well, and they now also have the Hallow spell that allow people to communicate freely from all of the places here. Having
Oh, they're competing with me.
having come up with a great idea out of the blue about the pace at which it would take a horse to ride from Yang to their
Yeah.
yeah, but they don't have one that is restricting demons, devils, and angels and undead from coming through.
Angels are allowed. Like celestials. I just
Oh.
don't have demons, devils, and undead.
Okay.
You're racist.
Apparently. No, I just hold on. We had a thought about this. Didn't we have some run-ins with celestials that we weren't like a fan of?
Yeah. At least in my world, angels are about as unsavory as demons are.
Oh, okay. So you know what? I'm fine having it being demons, devils, and celestials and undead are not allowed
Mm-hmm.
in our area, but all the other ones are. I don't have like elementals or anything like that.
Yeah. But yeah, that would be the Shah's answer to your prodding of his willingness for a deal.
Okay, well, I'll just leave it at that, and I'll hang out for the rest of the evening and just enjoy myself and make some connections.
As long as you guys are in the Shah's presence here at the table, the drinks would be on the house. You can order just about whatever you want. There's a couple of bottles of like at least 1,000 gold wine on the table. There would be caviar and seafood and all sorts of fine dishes coming and going.
Sophie is having a great time. Sophie hasn't left. She has no desire to go back to the party.
Yeah, the Shah for his part would be more than happy to talk with you all. I think he and Sylphie would clash a little bit in that you both have the same tendency to talk about yourself a lot. The Shah is
Likely.
the same sort of guy when it comes to that.
No, Sophie recently has been less about herself in her
Yeah.
conversations.
Well, Timothy's is
surprised
not
you haven't
less about
noticed,
herself
Isaac.
at all.
But
Oh,
she's
sorry.
been more like, also after her aura of beauty, she doesn't need to talk about how pretty she is anymore. She knows it.
A little bit of confidence in her beauty, huh?
Yeah, no, there's no longer like the need to announce everything in the world. She's like, sure.
This
Like,
room is escapism.
uh-huh.
People just
No,
know you're
this is
beautiful,
why-
and you know that they know, and you don't have to worry about it.
it's literally called the aura of beauty.
It's in the name.
But no, I imagined like headcanon that once Sylphie got it, because it's kind of strong, is that she doesn't like she becomes more peaceful, more like she's like she knows herself. She's cool. And she's hot.
It also
Yeah.
works on Sylphie.
Sophie looks in the mirror. She's like, "Whoa."
Sylphie is incapable of not thinking she looks good.
Oh my god! It's like, you know, the Medusa's glare where you put a mirror. It's the Medusa's glare, but it's how they see themselves. Actually, that's like kind of a theory people have about mirrors. Is humans weren't supposed to look at ourselves as much, and that's why we have so much self-confidence, or like not lack of self-confidence.
Right.
Jasmine would start out the evening very noble.
Yeah.
And with free drinks by the end of the evening would just be partying.
Oh, Huso101 said hello. Huso, nice to see you. Welcome back. Yeah, Jasmine, you start out very refined, very elegant at Timothy's table. That very fine wine continues to very quickly fill your cup, and who knows where it could be going. The next thing you know, you find yourself on the dance floor, dancing merrily with a crowd of very entertained nobles and people who want to get close to you. Next thing you know, you're over by the dancers. You don't quite remember what happened in the middle, but now you're up on stage with the dancers, and they are trying to roll your intrusion into their routine and doing a fairly good job of it for the most part.
I'm a trained dancer, okay? They made me take classes for this. And I always paid attention.
Performance check at disadvantage.
Oh no.
I'll be back in 1
I
second.
don't have that one.
I'll be back in 1 second.
See you soon.
That's a 16.
16. So yeah, you're up. you are at least not embarrassing yourself, and the dancers are quite good at like rolling you into the routine and rolling with the interruption and kind of like centering you. Um,
That's good. I'll
but
murder them all if they make me look bad.
you like right next to like the belly dancing routine, trying to do belly dancing that you have barely practiced, and last time was like 4 years ago. There's a pretty obvious gap between the level of skill like on display here.
Yeah.
Um,
It's
people
the
do not.
karaoke version of belly dancing.
What's that?
The karaoke version of belly
Yes.
dancing.
Yes, exactly.
Shakira?
Shakira.
Jasmine listens to Shakira and thinks she knows how to belly dance.
That's exactly it. Oh. As people do not seem to mind, though, there is plenty of hooting and hollering. Danon is dancing his heart out below you with the crowd cheering you on as well. The dancers are wrapping you into the routine. A couple of times they kind of gently eject you from the stage to the loving arms of the crowd, and lasts a few minutes before there's an entering act on. You're like, oh my god, they need me back up there, and back up Jasmine goes to the stage. As you find yourself in a drunken haze of celebration down here, where you are the guest of honor. So Jasmine's perfect spot to be, adored and paid attention to. As Sylphie, you sit with the Shah, conversing long into the evening. For his part, he tends to sit with the like widest, most satisfied grin, watching people drink his booze, enjoy his ball. Um, and he is quite pleased to chat with you late into the evening, regale you with tales of the strange lands and creatures that he's met, his many palaces and servants, and so on and so forth. He would
Sophie would just
probably,
hype him up.
yeah.
Sophie would just be like, yeah, that's really cool.
Thank
In like a
you.
better way.
Yeah.
You know, like an actual meaningful way.
Yeah.
But she would be like, she'd be playing him up.
Okay, you are, for all intents and purposes, an enchanted listener to his regaling of you. He would probably slip in the offer of permanent position for you if you wanted to become an official cleric of the Shah with
Ooh.
Really, I just got really like I just connected with my God in a way that I never had before. I can't just drop it.
I understand, of course. I would not mean to intrude upon your business with your God. But if you so desire, the position remains open. I travel much, and you would see much.
Thank you very much. And I would just like pat his hand.
So I was
You know,
telling
like
you about as he launches into
yeah.
something else and something comes up. Every once in a
Also,
while,
she's so used to it, but
yeah,
this time he's not into her, and she's like, "This is fine.
yeah, yeah,
This is
yeah. No,
fine.
he's
I
not
like
trying to
this."
marry you. He's not trying to woo you in any way. Um, Occasionally somebody comes in and will be waved over by the Shah to come up to the table. You would meet some of the more influential nobles or merchants, as well as a couple of merchants who are kind of just getting their start, but have caught the Shah's eye. Like you see one person who definitely looks like they have just like bluffed their way past the people watching the entrance of this, and the Shah sees them with a big grin and waves them over, and they look over confused as a servant comes up and kind of drags them up to the Shah's table. And he starts asking after their business with what you're gathering is like rather small scale, but for some reason has caught his interest. And then they get waved back down to the party and look a lot less nervous now that they're officially invited, as the evening passes much that way.
Very cute.
As you guys enjoy the grand party, each of you would be at some point in the night slipped a golden key with a number hanging from it for your room in the Grand Casino if you choose to stay in it, as essentially a couple of the like penthouse style suites have been
Yeah,
set
I'm staying in the
aside for you.
penthouse.
Yeah,
Lumber
absolutely.
party. Woo.
We're like, I'm going to go have sex with my boyfriend, and I go, no.
I will invite as many people as will fit in the room.
A fair amount, but not the whole party. It is a big party. You can probably get like 10 or 15 people comfortably in the room, which is big for a ship. Um, Especially that it's not the only room of this size here. But yeah, you can get a very respectable, but somewhat necessarily exclusive after party going in your room if you so desire.
We'll just like set enough people up with each other to go and like sleep by themselves and have a fun time.
Yeah.
That we're down to a small enough group that no one gets kicked out.
Well, given the way this party is, there's going to be quite a few people vying to come to your party, and there will necessarily be a few people who don't receive an invite. Nobody you would have to reject, but a couple people who don't get invited would be a necessary evil of something like this.
Oops.
Yeah. Oops. How much room was there again? As the servant is like whispering, of like, you probably don't want to go past 16. Things will become rather impolite. And you're like, oh, sorry. Yeah, I just invite as you've like already filled up the amount that will fit at this point.
Yeah, I will buy people rooms
Okay,
if they really
absolutely.
need.
Yeah, you become a very popular person among a couple of the people who like snuck their way into this party and don't normally have the substance to really afford a nice
Yeah,
room in the Grand Casino. As you're like, oh my God, I'm so sorry, but come later, and if not, here's a room
yeah.
type deal, right?
Okay. Yeah. Uh, how open to you? How open are you to shenanigans happening while you're asleep?
Um, Open, yeah, no, super
All right, you should
open.
go to this room then.
A couple confused people just accept on instinct. As Daniel, do you
Mhm.
spend your evening at the Shah's table being regaled by his stories, or do you wend your way on to the dance floor to join the celebrations below?
I'm spending my time making contacts. So if they're at the
Sure.
Shaw's table, I try to just get a solid opinion of his thing, whether it's going to be, hey, is there something that could happen? And what is the timeline on that? Or is he just not interested in talking about it and is just humoring me? And then if
Make
not,
me an insight
I'm
check.
making merchant contacts. So now I'm trying to sell stalls and I'm trying to fill stores.
Yeah. Go ahead and make me an insight check. And the Shaw's table is actually not the best place for making connections. He's a little too hard to get to for most of the people here. He does not. There's not many people important enough to come up and sit with him for any length of time. And you're actually better off, like hitting the more social area where the food is being eaten and there's like standing and sitting tables set up is where you're going to have better luck.
Okay, yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. I spend just enough time there to make the connection, then I move along. My insight was 21.
21. Okay. You get the sense that the Shah is kind of entertained by the idea. And he's not just humoring you. He's the type of personality that something could come from it. But right now he's being advised against it and is seemingly willing to go against the advice of his analysts. So it's kind of a mix of like he's not quite humoring you, but at the moment, if he was to do something, it would be an interesting side diversion, not like a very serious deal.
I drop the hints that I need or the
Yep.
things I think that would placate or make somebody feel a little bit less worried.
Mm-hmm.
So, look, I mentioned some of our friends and allies and some of the people in security that I've employed, and that I have a full like plan in place to protect the portals and stuff. And
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
and then once I've like done that, I move on.
Okay, as you find yourself spending the evening around the food table, and this is where most of the serious merchants are. A lot of them are doing the same as you, taking this as a great opportunity to rub shoulders, exchange gossip and information, and make connections with each other just a little ways away from the music, over fine food and fine drink. And there's a great mix of ages here. And the way it kind of plays out is you have what are clearly the sort of orbits of the more important merchants, a couple of the ones that run like bigger shipping routes that span between the continents and across the seas. And then you have all of the smaller companies that usually have a relationship with one or two of them, and a whole bunch of hopefuls around those people. So you'll have your like ship captain who's up and coming, maybe in the like mid of his life, in his 40s or 50s, has become somewhat important, and he's got all his little, not apprentices, but people who look up to him in business, hoping that he goes over and talks to one of the like magnates, and that they get a chance to slip their name in front of one of the bigger names here. So there's these little these orbits of like somebody sitting at a table having a grand time with the people around him, people kind of coming and going, and they're being followed by a gaggle of like hopeful new merchants and underlings.
Okay. So my goal with these people is I want to make some connections, and the two things that I'm focusing on with them is, number one, a location where they could have really good distribution to their wares from lots of different places if they wanted it. And number two, a way to move high value goods securely, reducing the possibility of like banditry and being raided, right? Because if they're taking a lot of stuff by caravan or by ship, let's say that maybe 10% of that cargo is extremely valuable. I could help them move that 10% through a portal or through a lot more direct means, and help loss.
Yeah,
You know?
totally.
So that's what I'm kind of dropping.
Yeah. You start rubbing shoulders with the people here, just as appropriate, slipping in sort of the benefits of working with the hub, establishing a stall there, picking up some
I talk about
trade
the
with
tongues.
Yeah, the tongues as well for either business dealings or to smooth any difficulties that might come with opening themselves up to this interplanar trade. You would find yourself in a rather interesting position in that you are one of the people who can kind of freely go between the magnets here, being one of the guests of honor. That each of them would happily sit down and chat with you. And so some of the smaller people you talk to kind of try to latch onto you and follow you to the tables as you go, as you find a little like flock of hopefuls around you who are either like interested in working with you, pretending to be interested in working with you, or interested in working you and also want a chance to talk to the people that you give them access to with your special status at the party here. As you find yourself sort of entangled in the swirling world of traders here, going back and forth. Eventually you get slipped a room key for one of the more like penthouse style suites here that has been provided by the Shah for your evening, as you all may take your rest. And let's take our break in the middle. It's 9:59. It's about to be 10 o'clock. We're going to be gone for 10 or 15 minutes. We're going to run 3 minutes of ads while we're gone to keep the pre-rolls at bay. But we'll be right back, folks.
Bye.
Bye.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Let's just wait for it to get the video for all my co-conspirators here. There we go. We got all their beautiful faces in here. Welcome back to
conspirators.
D&D. So
Fucking
where
sound
we
effects,
left off-
Alex.
What? What am I missing?
The sound effects every time something.
Also, Alex B. King says, I go to bed now. Wish I could stick around. I love you. Love you,
Good
Alex.
night, I
Goodbye.
love you so much.
Also, Huso asked how everyone was doing earlier. I'm doing well. I'm being sweated to
Doing
death
good.
in my house. But other than that, good.
Are you doing
Didn't
better?
get an air conditioner unit yet?
Runa! Runa!
What?
Camera discipline. With your
What
what
happened?
you're working
What are you talking about?
on.
I'm showing something I can't be showing on stream.
Yeah.
She's working on a
I
project.
angled
this?
up and then just sat lower.
It's a present.
It's a present for
It's
somebody.
So we-
Andrea's birthday present.
Shut it fully on camera.
Yeah.
His birthday present?
Andrea's.
Oh,
So,
okay.
goodbye, Alex. Hello, Huso.
This wouldn't be the first time it almost got revealed because I showed it to Michaela and then Michaela out loud described it.
Yes.
So
I
is
was
it
like-
because it's something that you want to be a surprise, or is it
Yeah.
because it's something that shouldn't be showed on stream because it's NSF?
Pornographic. No, it's
perfectly
something
appropriate.
that's supposed to be a surprise.
Yeah.
Sorry. Okay, so it's not NSF.
No.
Yeah, it's not an FFW. That's on Wednesdays.
Okay.
No, it's a present that I'm keeping a surprise for Andrea, and I didn't fuck it up the first time. I fucked it up the second time.
Yeah.
Michaela saw it and she's like, "Oh wow, this looks like a bleep 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 bleep," right next to Andrea.
So, where we left off, the party had, having come back to Clouds and spent a few days after successfully defeating Wogros, started to reap the rewards of their year of work at this point. We ended with them celebrating with the great Shah de Mathiz at his grand casino floating at the docks of Clouds, and you all eventually retiring to your various rests. For some of you, a small after party in your rather large room before that, but you all may take your long rest.
I got a penthouse
After
just me and Lance.
Wait, did you guys end up at that other He had one penthouse, one penthouse room completely filled with big booty Latinas.
Well, our penthouse room was just us, and we used every surface.
Oh, you found the big booty Latinas room? Yeah, I sent all of them to one room.
Yeah, it was interesting.
Oh my god. So you
But we should go talk to
all-
Laura Baker.
right. So
Yeah.
does anybody have anything important they're getting up to in the next month that follows as the city slowly gets used to its new reality?
I'm spending a lot of time back in Lost Luer, and I am trying to track down a third constellation to vouch for me because I was told that 3 would be a good number to have.
Okay. Well, just to give you a bit of information that may help you with that.
It's impossible.
No, they're all dead. Just kidding. So there are
Not impossible. You have a cleric with a 9th level resurrect.
That's true. We can force them to help us.
True. So
I become a necromancer.
the constellations that you have not met personally are the turtle, the jaguar, the sparrow, the oak, and the tankard. Of those constellations, there are 2 of them who can reliably be found. There is the sparrow, who is known to be Minnow, the Thousand Cuts, and then there's the tankard, who is Elrond, the Hazy Fist. They both move around. The sparrow especially tends to act as the sort of unofficial messenger of the 7 constellations, keeping them in contact with each other. But she does occasionally meet with people, and so sometimes people will know where she can be found. And the tanker tends to wander kind of like Yorick does, but in a much slower fashion across the country. So if you follow enough rumors, you can usually find him. As for the turtle, the jaguar, and the oak, their current holders of the title and location are unknown.
Okay, so
I-
between the two I can find, what are their demeanor? Like who is persuadable?
The tankard, you would be able to hear rumors. Most people would consider him at least somewhat an asshole. He does not have a great reputation among people, and tends to just go around challenging people kind of willy-nilly in no sort of official fashion, with no rhyme or reason. Like he will challenge someone's apprentice, and then next thing you know, go challenge the head of a school. Um, so he does not have a stellar reputation. And the sparrow, for their part, is very flighty, but also considered very sort of self-important. People don't love the constellations, being as they're a very unofficial force, and she is sort of the mouthpiece for them. So there's some disdain, especially from the powers that be, towards that. But otherwise is considered fairly respectful, if a little direct.
Okay. Well, I guess I will
Get done again.
start collecting
wait.
information on where both of them are, and given an opportunity, would try and reach out to them. But
Okay.
I don't know if that'll happen in
yeah,
the near
that'll-
future.
That will take a while to gather that information, but you can start to put your feelers out, direct the people who trade with you that you're interested in that information if they happen to come across it, and start to sort of put your feelers out on that if you want it.
Especially like the mantis, if the sparrow is a messenger between them. If the mantis hears from the sparrow about anything.
Yeah, the mantis would tell you that I'm not usually the one sending messages. She does come now and again if someone has something to say, but honestly, if there's anything of a leader among us, it's probably the turtle. So she usually goes out when he has something to share with the rest of us, or if there's a meeting to be had. But that hasn't
Right.
happened in a few years.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Also, is it who else would be good people to think about vouching for me? Is it just these constellations, or?
Yeah, I mean, the people would be the sects, the constellations, or the 7 clans. Those are the main movers and shakers of Yang.
Okay. I'd also then be looking into trying to track down the Immortal Tranquility sect.
Oh, yeah, I mean, they are on the northwestern part of the country. They are not hard to track down. They have a sect headquarters. Unlike the Thunderblade sect and the Blood Refinement sect, their sect headquarters is not really that close to any major city, and is in fact like a week or so trek from the nearest one in the desert. But they have a central location. They are reachable, and then they have their outposts among their territories.
Okay. I think we'll leave that for now, but it's just a thing I'm gathering info on.
Certainly could make a play to go meet with them. As does anybody have anything else of importance?
I do.
Well, lay it on me.
So I wanted to cast a spell, and it's an interesting one. So I'm going to use Wish.
Ooh, our first use of
And
wish.
Make me strong.
so first up, I'm just trying to find what the role was again.
Deal with 2 liches.
For wish?
I'm not using it ever again.
Okay, so the stress of casting the spell to produce any effect other than duplicating another spell weakens you. After enduring that stress, each time you cast a spell until you finish a long rest, you take 1d10 necrotic damage per level of that spell. This damage can't be reduced or prevented in any way. In addition, your strength drops to 3 if it isn't 3 or lower already for 2d4 days. For each of those days that you spend resting and doing nothing more than light activity, your remaining recovery time decreases by 2 days. Finally, there's a 33% chance that you are unable to cast Wish ever again if you suffer this stress.
I'm gonna roll this D1 hundo.
What are you wishing
Okay.
for?
That's good. That's a 41. Oh, fuck me.
Cutting it a little bit close there.
Yeah. Okay. So look, we get some more wish. That's good. So basically, what I would like to, I'm going to give you my intent. So my intent is, I've decided I'm not going to mend demons, celestials, or like any types of things. But what I am going to do, my wish is, I want to create a zone so it covers the hub, kind of thing, and say maybe 10 foot around the hub. To
Okay.
enter into the hub through either the teleportation circle or the plane, or to enter through the front gate, you get a kind of like a feeling of, if I'm entering here, I'm acknowledging that I'm going to follow the rules and that I'm going to not want to cause harm to people, that kind of thing. And you can only come in if you like kind of make that kind of mental acceptance that you're coming in. When you're inside of the hub, like I still have the Hallow spells that do the tongues, but when you're inside the Hallow spell, anyone can be in there. But if you go to make a harmful action against someone else, so be that, I'm going to say like, so I'm going to say, other than my guards and my staff, I'm saying if you are a guest to the hub and you make a harmful action against somebody, you get teleported to the front gate and you are banned. Basically, you cannot enter the hub for another 24 hours.
I see.
Kind of thing. So now, like, we can talk a little bit about harmful action. Like the what I see as like rule of fun is, if you make an action of it, like, or we can get really into the minutia of what that is. Like, I don't find that quite as fun, but you kind of get the spirit of what I'm going for.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, so you have to like honestly intend not to do harm to other creatures while you're
Yes, you have to have honest intentions, and you're there for different things. So when I say harmful action, I mean, if you come into the hub with the intent to rob, steal, poison, hurt, to take something or hurt something or belittle something or better yourself at someone else's expense, then that's fine. But that doesn't extend to like somebody offering you, oh, I'll sell you this dagger for $100, and it's worth 1,000. That's a little bit different. Like, I'm not going to make them get expelled for that. That's like a trade thing. But I mean, like, stealing, hurting, like that kind of stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if you have the intent, like you're coming here to raid the hub or to take our money, or like you don't get that acknowledgement. You just can't enter,
Right.
kind of thing.
Okay. Well,
Or like it might work. It might work like, because I don't know how some of those, maybe they have to make checks, or like say they make a check, they could come in, but they have to continue to make the check, and it gets harder. Like, we could work it like a Hallow spell, or work it like something like that. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's what I'm going for.
Okay, got it. Well, we can work out the details outside of session a little bit. So obviously the standard wish rules apply. Of the more powerful the thing that you're wishing for, the more likely there is to be things that go awry. But we can talk it over.
Yeah, well, awry. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So Wish has a list of like effects that are kind of within the bounds of the Wish spell, and then the further you depart from that, the more likely there is to be unintended side effects from it. So we can discuss
Okay,
it.
well, we need to have a conversation about that first and what
Exactly.
your intentions are and what you believe the realm of too far is.
Yeah.
Before we'll talk about that outside of stream.
Yeah, totally. All right, but you are casting the Wish spell.
People in a space, right?
Yes. Yeah, no, you won't have any complaints from Balor from a use such as this. And then does Sylphie have anything to get up to over the next month?
Nope.
Okay.
What?
Spending time with you.
You want to optionally hang out with me?
No, Sim. Come to dinner. Don't be late.
On my side, at least, it keeps lagging, freezing, just
I just
stopping.
started getting a bunch of rain and lightning, so that might be
I am seeing some lagginess.
dealing with weather, because it looks like the storm proper has just hit me. And the rain is now
Yeah,
pouring.
no, I like stream has just stopped.
Well, then maybe we call it here.
Isaac, maybe you go look.
How's my internet
I'll
looking?
put in
I'm
chat.
also losing
Internet might
bars of internet.
The stream.
The stream keeps freezing. Like it was fine, and then I just started getting the lightning, and the rain started pouring, and now the stream is like stuttering and free. Because yeah, it just
We can.
it goes for a few seconds, and then it freezes, and then it goes for a few seconds, and then it freezes.
Just
And then maybe we can talk as a group quick about the Wish. Yeah.
Yeah, certainly.
Okay,
Okay,
cool.
folks.
No, I guess we still could. But either way, thanks for watching us, Adventure Corp. We'll be doing this online for the next bit. 6 to 10 month Discord. That's where everything happens. That's where we're chatting. But yeah, thanks guys. We appreciate you. Like, give, subscribe, tell your mom, whatever works.
Wanted to mention is we're going to be juggling some players here where we're going to be missing Alex for a little bit, we're going to be missing Dan for a little bit, so we're going to go to a one-shot we're going to be going into a one-shot here that'll last a few sessions, one-shot or something. We're still working out the details, so
Yeah,
join us for that. Should be at the same time. We love y'all. That's us signing off, and goodbye.
Bye.